Hey there, it's Chanel, and we're back in the studio again, making another portrait, this time of Claude. I was really excited to use green. I've been on a green kick lately, but for his personality is definitely more on the cool, calm, and collected side, so I went for a value of green that felt a little more subdued. Just giving you a quick close up on the goodness that is the sketchy line quality of my drawings. I really like keeping things sketchy to continue to evoke that sense of movement and vibrancy, even though it's a static image. Also, I wanted to do a close up for you all on the lips. Ultimately, I pay a lot of attention to the reference photograph so that I can get all of the variety of shades of colors in the lips. There's a lot of depth, a lot of dimension, low lights, highlights. I used at least like 4 different colors of pink. And again, they mimic real life. Guy's lips have lots of depth and dimension, so I wanted to make sure I did those right in the portrait. With the eyes and lips done, the next step for me is jumping right in to paint the flesh. So you'll see that I was able to pick 3 different colors of brown to build out the shadows, the highlights, and the base tone for Guy's face, neck, ears, all those important parts of the portrait. Gotta add in all the melanin, all the melanin. So as we move on, you'll see that I started to continue to build on the layers of paint. I'm using acrylic, and it dries pretty quickly on this plastic tablecloth material, so excited about where it's going. So when you weren't looking, I actually glued on the lips and the eye, and now I'm blending some black and this yellow because I wanted to make a black that isn't as intense as that. So you can see the difference where this is a little warmer. And now I'm starting to paint his hair. So of course I had to continue to use collage as a part of the shirt for Guy's portrait. If you check out the image on the right side, you'll see the beginnings of me starting to cut up paper and glue it on. But I fast forwarded through that just so we can get to how it's looking now. Whoa! Now that we've hit the flip over because the shirt is done, we can bring our attention back to the hair. So the black that I mix is clearly covering up all of my drawing for the hair. So I had to go back in and add some highlights with gray and then also some shadows with a deeper black marker. Adding the detail work in the hair is one of my favorite parts of making portraits. I feel like with Black people's hair in particular, there's so much texture and volume and just like awesomeness in the creativity and the different ways we can style our hair. So now that the figurative element of Guy's portrait was done, it's time to get on the floor and figure out the rest of the composition. One of the major elements that Guy mentioned when thinking about self-care was music. So I didn't want to be stereotypical and include music notes. Instead, I remembered that when you read sheet music, there's always 4 measures. So the 4 purple lines represent the measures in music. He also mentioned like standing under the shower and feeling the water of the shower hit him. So that's where the bubble wrap comes in as an ode to that. And I think one of the most prominent things he mentioned in terms of thinking about self-care was the learning to be still, learning to breathe, and really learning that you have to take time to just pause. So I thought it was cool to integrate the clocks in the background as a part of that too. One of the great paradoxes of life is that you can only move forward and time doesn't stop for you. So you have to make the conscious effort to take a breather and pause. So now that the composition is finalized, you'll see that I'm starting to glue on all the pieces to make sure nothing runs away from me. And the final step is applying some pressure with my own body weight to make sure it all sticks. And so here we are with the finished work. Flow into Stillness, a portrait of Guy. Really excited to have this newest addition to my quarantine self-care series. Thanks again for watching.